Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Salty Sweet Games. Welcome to Masks of Nyarlathotep. I'm very perky right now, but it's because I'm excited. It's definitely not because this is a perky game. I am the salty.
Yeah, and I am the sweet. Sorry, brain just decided to stall for a hot second.
These various assorted spices are our friends. Now, we're going to go around and talk to everyone, meet their characters, but first, we're going to talk about channel stuff. Firstly, a ton of thanks to our sponsors, Roll20, our virtual tabletop of choice. Yep, getting better and better. Which unites gamers across any distance with easy-to-use tools that are free and run straight from your web browser. So, I got so many handouts today, can't wait to use them. Also, thank you to everybody who's been subbing, who's been gifting subs. That hype train from last week was crazy, which is appropriate for this game. Also, we have donation options below that can seriously impact the game using bits or our Streamlabs tip jar. Just click on the dono info image, and it'll take you right there. Key and I pay for everything at Salty Sweet Games out of pocket, and these donations exclusively go toward channel upkeep and improvement. So you can help us keep the lights on and also help the PCs.
Hell yeah. And we also, yes, please help us. Also, if you want to support us and get something else in return, we have a merch store. We've got a Redbubble. So you can get the complex web polyhedral design or a really cute pretzel designed by Summer herself on a shirt, on a mug, on a notebook. We got a lot of cute stuff there. So you can go and check us out over there and help us with all this stuff. Anything else?
Yeah, thank you, Hawk. Everybody will start with an advantage. Bless you, Hawk. Bless you. Okay, so we should talk to people. Oh, no, wait, no. I want to talk about safety tools. Hello.
Oh, yeah.
We use safety tools, lines, veils, X and a no cards, stars and wishes, and content warnings. You can exclamation CW to see this episode's content warnings. Because while our characters are going to be put through hell, that's kind of part of the fun, but the players are here to have fun, and they are our priority always. Without further ado, let's meet our players. Key, who are you playing? Let's start with you. Easy.
Yeah. I am playing Irene Blackwell. She, her pronouns. She is the resident forger, sad girl, who had been hiding out in her hometown of West Virginia for the last little while, but is headed back to New York because it's kind of her home now, and she can only run away from her past for so long.
God, we need a shirt with that. Seriously, that's it. That's the TTRPG thing. Okay, Allie. Hey, what's up, Allie? Who you playing? How you doing?
Hey, everybody. It's me, Allison. I am playing Ganymede Graves, adventure scientist, who is just excited to be here today.
Oh, really? I don't trust you.
Wise.
Summer. Hello, Summer. You're back with us. Never leave.
I'm trying. I'm doing my best. Yeah, hi, I am Summer. I use she, her pronouns, and today, and every time I'm here, hopefully, for a while, I'm going to be playing Charlie Rapp. Charlie Rapp. He's a guy who does stuff and knows people in places. And he talks to ghosts. Sometimes when the ghosts feel like it.
Sometimes,
Yeah. It's on their watch. Let's be real. You don't talk to ghosts, they talk to you. Am I right?
That makes sense.
Anyone? Yeah.
I was trying to come up with a snarky transition, but I couldn't. Tommy, hello, my friend.
Okay, I'm glad that, I feel like that's snarky in and of itself.
Thank
the fact
you.
that you had to announce that you're going to make a
Thank
snarky
you.
transition. Hi, I'm Tommy, Adam Painter Pengu on the Twitter sphere. I play Zebulon Augustine Claiborne Montgomery III. Bab, no longer a Bab.
Level up!
now can, in modern day, legally drink.
Yeah.
Didn't matter so much back in the day, but And he is, for those of you who might be not joining us after the last one, he's had a bit of a career change. Did not make professional football a thing. He is now a photojournalist. So he is out there finding sort of the, not trying to, but drawn to the weird things in the world.
And maybe they're drawn to him too. Good job, Lauren. Anyway, we have a very special guest today, and I'm really excited about it. It's Lindy!
Hi! I'm very happy to be here guesting on some Pulp Cthulhu. I love Cthulhu, Call of Cthulhu, Pulp Cthulhu, the many flavors of Cthulhu, and I also love these people. So, what better place to be on a Saturday morning than with people I love in a game system that I love? I will be playing Rebecca Schosenberg. She is a reporter, a very good reporter. You could say reporter extraordinaire. Put a lot of points to reporting and photojournalism, so it's her thing. And she is very happy to be on the case.
On the case, yes. We're all about to be on the case together. Okay, I'm gonna recap, and I'm gonna recap fast, so buckle up, everyone. Last time, the investigators said goodbye to Peru, to each other, and to 1921, but not before Jackson Elias passed on his lucky pocket watch to Irene. Almost 2 years later, he made the rounds, visiting the investigators' homes before the publication of The Hungry Dead, his book on their Peruvian adventure. The book ended up leaving out some of the more disturbing and unexplainable aspects of their expedition, and when they met up, all of them seemed to be having the same nightmare, one that always ends with a red door. Though Jackson didn't manage to find Charlie, he spoke with adventure scientist Ganymede Graves in her Oxford home, fresh-faced journalist Zebulon in his West Virginia home, along with several of his sisters, Charleston home, with many, many sisters. So many sisters. I love them all. And art forger Irene at a diner in her West Virginia hometown, where she introduced him to her daughter. But there is one more visitation that Jackson Elias has to make, though it won't be exactly as he intended. Charlie.
Yes, ma'am.
Christmas, 1924. Where do we find you?
Oh, I'm guessing I'm not at home. Minding my own business. Charlie is unfortunately working this lovely evening. And he is at a private client's home. So if you don't know what Charlie does in his free time, I'll be so happy to fill you in. Charlie goes around, he's hired by people, and often works completely for free, to attend seances and other medium readings. Not do his own, mind you. He doesn't go in to perform a seance. He goes to other self-proclaimed medium seances to see if they're genuine. He doesn't like people using psychic abilities to swindle, especially elderly people and people who have lost loved ones, out of their money just to get a false message from the dead. So Charlie often goes to debunk their claims and basically prove them to be a fraud. And that's what he's doing tonight.
Fantastic. Your client is named Mrs. Alice Newell, who is trying to contact her dead husband, Bill. The psychic that she's hired is named Margaret Odell, who I think you've probably seen advertised
Yes.
before. she may even do almost like small showcases to get new clients. You suspect that she is a fraud.
Yeah.
But you are not the only person here, Charlie. There's also an older woman, mid-60s, named Agatha Broadmoor. She has long, wavy white hair, very simply dressed, with a very kind of wide-brimmed hat pushed back. And she has been invited. You don't recognize her. I don't think you've heard of her or anything.
I don't know her relationship to Alice.
Yeah, they seem like they're at least acquaintances, but this seems maybe a bit more public than a genuine medium might hold. The other person here that you know is Annabelle Claiborne Montgomery. And we know this is one of Zebulon's sisters. She is currently a fashion designer, a friend of Ganymede's, and your girlfriend?
Significant other? Yeah. Do they call them girlfriends?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
You're steady or something.
Yeah.
All of you are already assembled. Kind of in the waiting room of this, I'm gonna put it in New York because that's fun for me. In this old manor house in upstate New York. Margaret Odell has been there for a while. The lights are appropriately dimmed.
So annoying.
Yeah, she's got like the dining room set up with like her cloth, and there's a crystal ball. There are all the usual trappings of sniffing out a fraud. And our last arrival is someone that you have invited. Rebecca, can you describe yourself?
Yes, so Rebecca, she comes in looking fairly smart in a suit, a dress suit. So, long skirt, flat shoes, a slight heel on the back, suit jacket, red shirt, bright red hat that she wears over very poofy, frizzy, curly hair. It's brushed out in the style of the times, but it's a lower maintenance style. You're assuming because she's a busy reporter. She hasn't got all day. She definitely walks around with like a pencil kind of tucked behind her ear, and has a notebook in hand as she walks into the door. She's fairly petite, about average height, and a little gleam in her eye. Very, very well put together. Confident stride.
And Charlie, this is the first time you're seeing Rebecca in person.
Yeah, I think he obviously wasn't expecting any other guests. At least nobody seemed like they would be expecting anyone else, so he has to assume this is her. I think he's probably like seen pictures of her, right? Like, in the paper, potentially.
Yes, I'm a journalist and photojournalist. So.
Nice. So I think he's probably standing kind of back. He does his best to not interact with the client or the psychic because he doesn't want them to have any opinion of him, basically. He doesn't want to influence anything that's going on. So he's been probably standing towards the back of Annabelle. But as Rebecca comes in, he kind of like excuses himself and walks over to greet her with hand extended. And he says, Miss Schoenberg, it's good to see you.
Oh, it's good to see you too. Yes, Rebecca Schoenberg, you must have seen me in the papers?
Yeah, I have. That's actually why I invited you here.
Oh! Okay, I was wondering if you were going to be here or not, but it's a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, I'm Charlie Rapp, and he, we'll shake her hand.
Yeah. Shake hands. It's a good handshake.
Firm, strong handshake.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're just kind of standing towards the back. If you want to talk to people, I did let them know that you were going to be attending.
Fantastic, thank you. Yeah, sorry I'm a bit late, the weather getting here and the traffic after work, but I made it. So, anything else you wanted to tell me before I get, set up, situated?
I think he'll kind of pull you a little bit more like away from the seance setup, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he'll just kind of say, as I mentioned in my letter, I'm pretty sure that Miss Odell is a fraud. Hopefully I'll be exposing that tonight, but we'll see. I haven't done a sweep of the room yet, so I'll probably wait till they get going. But yeah, just keep your eyes peeled. If you see anything, let me know.
Will do. And she'll give him, nice up and down look, and then
Hot. Just so hot.
yeah, keep, and then go around the room, introduce yourself to the rest of the guests in attendance.
Yeah. So Annabelle and Agatha Broadmoor are standing together. Annabelle is very fashionably attired, like everything up to date style. She has blonde hair that's like curled and pinned back, an evening dress, but it's like appropriate. It's not flashy, but still you can tell like there's like class there.
Yeah.
And Agatha is probably the one who stands out. Like, she definitely doesn't look... Maybe she's just a curious old lady. But this is kind of... The people here are a bit more well-to-do. After all, from what you know about Margaret Odell, she's expensive. But Agatha comes forward and holds out her hand to you. Hello. Hi.
Hello, it's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Rebecca Schosenberg, and you are?
My name is Agatha Broadmoor.
Oh, lovely to meet you, Miss Broadmoor. Love your hat.
Thank you.
So, what brings you here tonight to the seance?
I felt like I should be here.
Oh, really? Like, do you know the family well, or is it just a spiritual connection?
No, there's someone here that I will meet again. She seems like she's definitely putting off like kind of
Right.
dotty vibes.
Uh-huh. I would like to psychology check her,
Yeah.
because
Yeah, do it.
she's already sending off alarms on my radar.
No kidding.
All right. So, oh man, I haven't used these new sheets terribly much. Give me 1 sec.
Oh yeah. You gotta turn it off edit mode and then check mark verbose. So many.
There you go. Boom.
Boom.
Maybe?
Maybe? Yes? Give it to me. Give it to me.
Clinky. I clicked it.
You clicked it. Let me see.
I did.
Let me get that look over here.
Either is being very slow. Oh, no,
There.
it's just
Oh.
real slow.
Okay.
Great job. Great first roll.
Yep.
Good, good.
That's exactly what I wanted.
It's nothing like pings you that she's like lying. Nothing
Yeah.
like that.
Okay. Just a dotty old lady.
Yeah, but there's a twinkle in her eye. Like she doesn't.
Okay.
She doesn't seem like she's suffering from the effects of like any kind of like. She doesn't look like she's on drugs. I mean.
Okay. She doesn't look like she's on drugs.
Yeah, she
but-
doesn't look like she's on drugs.
Yeah.
That is a good psychology score though. Damn.
I'm a reporter. I gotta get to the truth.
Yeah. And Annabelle holds out her hand. Annabelle Claiborne Montgomery.
Miss Montgomery, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Rebecca Schosenberg.
Oh, yes, I think I've read some of your story. You know my brother.
You know, the name Montgomery does ring a bell.
Yes.
I do meet a lot of people in my line of work, though. Is he in the press?
Yes, I believe Charlie, is that right? I think he's either an intern or some kind of intern. I'm not
intern.
sure.
Zeb?
Yes.
Zebulon oh, there he. Yes, I have met him. Very nice. Brother. Wow.
Yes.
You know, I see the family resemblance now. Yeah.
I suppose. Well, welcome. What exactly drew you to this event tonight? I am here, of course, with Mr. Rapp, as I am at several of these events.
Oh, well, I've just heard such fascinating things about Miss Odell, the psychic here, that, I figured we should probably do a piece on her, let the people know what's going on.
Annabelle nods politely. Agatha, however, looks over at you, that twinkle in her eye. Oh, she's quite a fake.
Agatha!
Uh-huh.
Oh, my goodness. You think so?
But there is a genuine person with the sight here.
Wow, really? And who is that?
Well, there's myself, for one.
Wow! I had no... This makes sense. You said there was going to be a connection. I just make some notes. How long have you always, had the sight, Miss Broadmoor? Or is this a recent development?
Since I was about 13.
Wow, puberty really does things to a person. I guess psychic abilities aren't beyond the question.
Annabelle is hiding a laugh, she's drinking whatever, champagne or something they're serving, and hides a laugh. Agatha doesn't seem to be bothered by it, though.
Yeah. So, how do you just talk to, how does your psychic abilities manifest, Miss Broadmoor?
Visions.
Visions? Like past, present, future?
Sometimes all at once.
Wow. That is truly amazing. And you claim that Miss Margaret Odell is a fraud?
Oh yes, quite an obvious one, I think.
Have you seen her work before, or is this your first time in person? Okay. Well, this will be a very interesting seance tonight then, don't you think?
Yes. Something is going to happen.
I bet it is. I'd put money on it. You said you think you're gonna be reunited with someone, Miss Broadmoor? Do you have any idea of who that may be?
She looks across at everyone. There are a few servants in the house, but she looks past Mrs. Alice Newell, who's older, probably actually around her age, but looks genuinely like that mix of sad and hopeful at something like this. There's Margaret Odell, she's just kind of scanning everyone, and her eyes stop on Charlie. I suppose we'll see.
I suppose we will indeed. Yeah. And I excuse myself and I go get a drink because this lady is insane. So.
Yeah, I think Charlie was politely waiting for them to finish talking. I think he's probably doing a general sweep of the room.
Yeah.
Just because common tricks are making things levitate, making candles go out to add to the atmosphere.
Yep.
So he's going around and looking for potential mechanisms that have been installed or have been brought in by Margaret kind of while this is going on.
Yeah.
Trying not to draw too much attention to himself or anything like that.
She does seem to have a man with her who's setting up in the other room.
Gotcha.
Do you want to make a listen check or a spot hidden kind of as you're doing a scan?
Yeah, I think I'll do a spot hidden just for funsies. It was one of the only things I could have. Let's go.
Nice.
That's success.
There are a couple of things that you notice. There's a slate, like a piece of chalkboard almost.
Yeah.
That has been brought in, and that immediately kind of sets off your alarm. Basically, this was used to the participants sometimes would write down something on the slate, like on a piece of paper, and then two slates are put together, and then the medium kind of holds them aloft, or like asks the spirit to respond. And there's a trick to this where there's already kind of a response hidden within the frame of these things. I mean, this is not I would think Charlie knows this because of his line of work. It's definitely one of the trickier things to pull off, which is why it's not like really popularly known yet. But
For sure. But if she's charging a lot, she can probably.
Yeah, you would assume that she's very good at this kind of thing. You also see kind of a glove, like a pair of gloves that she hasn't worn yet, but you see like it being taken out of a case, and you see a couple of like basic chemistry components: camphor gum, whiskey, quicksilver, and liquid storax. And these are fireproofing gloves. Like fireproofing materials that could basically be applied to gloves, and you could do like a trick where it, like, you prove your power by like showing that heat doesn't affect you.
Cool, great.
Yeah. So it definitely seems like the higher quality of fraud, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, she's good at it. She's good at what she does.
And she is a partner, obviously. So that's all set up. Also, with the hard success, you're pretty sure Agatha's been staring at you.
Yeah. I've probably introduced myself to her, I would say, when we first got here, and got the vibe that this is like a weird old lady.
Yeah.
So I think he has seen probably weirder people than this.
Oh, sure.
Especially people who have deluded themselves into thinking they're actually psychic, but they're not. And that's what kind of he's getting a vibe.
Sure.
Yeah, and as I'm passing, like Charlie, to go get myself a beverage, an adult beverage, I probably like drank. I'll lean over a bit and go, the old bat in the hat thinks that she's psychic, and that Mos Odell is most definitely a fraud. Just so you know, she's a little...
Well, I mean, she probably is a fraud. I mean, not probably. She definitely is, but...
Yes.
So she has some insight in this situation. Did you find out what she's doing here?
Oh, she's hoping to reconnect to somebody, and she's staring at you a whole lot, so... You know, I don't know what that means. She really should check the personal section of the paper. I honestly think she's a bit old for you, especially since, you know, you already have someone you brought with you, but I'm not gonna judge too much. I'm gonna get something from over there. And... Excuse me.
Yeah, he just nods and laughs a little bit, and we'll head back over to Annabelle.
Yeah, and I'm keeping my ears open as I approach nearer to Miss Odell and her assistant, and as I get my beverage.
Yeah. I think recognizing you with your notebook, when Margaret sees you approaching, she kind of claps her hands. Come, everyone. It is time to contact the spirits.
I pour a drink real fast and then
Can't wait.
over.
Yeah, Charlie's got his eyes peeled.
Yeah.
He can't wait to expose her. It's gonna be so fun. He does this for fun.
Yeah.
He literally doesn't charge for this.
Yeah. So you're all ushered in to the dining room. There is a circular table that's been set up with a shawl placed over it, crystal balls. The curtains have been drawn. The lights are out except for a few candles. The assistant is nowhere to be found. Everything has kind of been set up and where it should be. So there are no chemicals still out. She kind of puts on her gloves and sits and begins. Charlie, as Margaret Odell she starts chanting in what sounds like nonsense, basically, and starts lighting some incense, and it's very strong. And for some reason, the smell of it, it's very overpowering. Like, this room is large, but with all the curtains drawn and everybody kind of in close quarters, it's like obviously part of the experience. You're not exactly sure what this kind of incense is. It's definitely stronger. You even feel like your vision blur for a second. Like, though you do notice that, Agatha seems pretty neutral. Margaret Odell is going on about the spirits and the spirit world and Bill, and she is doing the writing version of this, along with as she entreats everybody starts holding hands, but if it's the smoke, if it's something's off, and you're not sure if it has anything to do with Margaret Odell, or if it's that dotty old woman staring across the table at you, not taking her eyes from you. How about you make a power check?
Can do. I'll use an advantage, because why not?
Why not?
Why not go for it, right?
Yeah, who wouldn't want to do that? Okay,
Success.
Nice. Something about Agatha is pinging as true. She has this like presence. Whether she's actually any kind of psychic is less what this is about, and more like that she is very strong of will, very present in this moment, and obviously seems to think that the two of you are connected. She has completely blocked out what's going on with Margaret. As this continues, and you see Margaret going through these like usual things of saying things that only Bill would know and all that's nonsense. Your vision goes blurry. And you blink a couple of times, just trying to clear it, because again, you're not sure exactly what's going on, but whatever this stuff is, it's strong. And you blink, and you feel sunlight behind you, like on the back of your head.
Yeah, I think there is clearly like something. Oh, hell yeah. There's clearly like something going on.
Yeah.
And I think that he is trying to I think I'm not 100% sure. He's because he doesn't I guess he would try and reach out to whatever is happening. He would try and open himself up. He kind of generally doesn't do that at seances like this, because if he were to be fully like possessed, like if a very strong-willed spirit were to try and possess him to talk to a loved one, it would disrupt the whole thing, right? So he generally doesn't do that, but I think he is going to kind of open himself up a little bit to whatever this feeling is.
Yeah.
You would like me to roll medium?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
Nice.
Success.
You're not... It's a weird mix. You feel the mix of spirits and you feel something else. But that feeling, it's night outside and you swear you feel sunlight on the back of your head.
Yeah.
Do you turn around?
I feel like he's really hard pressed to do it because he's making direct eye contact with Agatha.
Yeah.
Like she's staring at him.
Yeah.
So I think it does take him a second before he will kind of turn his head towards the light, thinking that it might be some part of the seance. Like, we haven't seen that assistant or whatever yet.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
So who knows what's going on? But yeah, he'll kind of glance that direction.
The door that's behind you is gone. There's a frame there, and beyond it you see sand and sun. And you see two people clad in appropriate clothes for the desert, whites. And they seem to see you, and they start moving towards you. They're far away at first and then move faster. And one of them appears to be a woman. She takes down her mask. Brunette, probably in her mid to late 40s. And at first the sound of the wind is hard, but she's obviously speaking. But eventually, as they get closer and they kind of move in flashes, I think he can see us, William. Hello? Hello? Can you find our daughter? Can you find And something moves across them, darkness. You're not exactly sure. It seemed like some kind of shape, but whatever it is was too big and too close. What's beyond the door changes. It's a dark room. An Egyptian woman with high cheekbones set in a heart-shaped face, this aquiline nose, pale gray-green eyes, with long brunette hair coiled and flowing. On her left arm she wears a circlet, and this woman paces restlessly in this room and then stops and looks at you. and smiles. And she's gone, just faded out. And now through the door, you see a hotel, nondescript, and you see a man wearing tweeds and a fedora, though the fedora is cast down, writing. He's hunched over writing in a hotel, haggard, manic, and he speaks as he writes, and you immediately recognize the voice as Jackson Elias. Many names, many forms, but all the same, and toward one end. Need help. Too big, too ghastly. These dreams like Carlisle's. Check that psychoanalyst file. All of them survived. They'll open it. Many threads. The books are in Carlisle's safe. Coming for me. Will the ocean protect? No quitters now. Jackie boy, must tell, must make readers believe. Should I scream for them? Let's scream together. And he stops and looks over his shoulder and seems to see you for a moment. Charlie?
Yeah, is the vision fading, or does it seem still like steady when he's looking at me?
Seems steady for now.
Yeah, I think Charlie is like, has everything else is like gone at this point as he's like watching these scenes unfold. And he just calls out, Jackson?
Rebecca, you saw Charlie kind of look over his shoulder, and Agatha was looking at him, and now you hear Charlie say Jackson. He just seems to be looking at the door behind him, but whatever's happening with Margaret Odell is very over the top, and this is understated, but quite a bit more unsettling, because there's nothing there but a door.
Like, I didn't get the assistant's name. Maybe his name was Jackson. Like, she keeps an eye on it, and an eye on Agatha, and she just periodically glances at everybody else's, just to see if they're murmuring anything or anything suspicious.
Charlie, the door returns. You see Annabelle is just kind of starting to notice that something's up with Charlie, because, like I said, Margaret Odell's very over the top and eye-catching. Charlie, the door is returned. You don't see Jackson anymore, although he did start to get up and seemed like he was going to walk towards you. But when you turn back to the table, you're not at a table. You're in a car. You're driving a car. And there's a beautiful young woman sitting next to you with brown hair and bright eyes. And you recognize her as Annie, your childhood sweetheart. She's talking, and you know she's talking, but it's like you can't hear her. Her hand is resting on yours.
Yeah, I think there's like a moment of confusion of when he suddenly like turns and sees that he's no longer at the table, and then he sees her, and it's kind of like he just like goes into like shock. Not like he's not scared at all, but it's just like he's like in awe just seeing her, and like even though he can't hear her, it's like exactly like a dream he's had hundreds of times over, of where he's sitting next to her, but he can't speak to her.
Yeah.
And I think he doesn't even attempt to say anything. He's just kind of like taken just looking at her.
Yeah.
Because this is like the most real that it's ever felt.
Mm-hmm. And she's kind of like 3/4 profile from you, seems to be looking out the window at things.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually she stops. It's almost like when you've noticed where you are, she notices too.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
If he has the capability, he'll stop a car.
Is it like a slam or is it a...
Yeah, it's a slam. He just kind of...
You feel your body like move, but hers is completely still. It's like she's barely noticed. And when she turns to you, it's no longer Annie. You see Augustus Larkin with his black dripping eyes smiling at you.
Oh my gosh. I think Charlie reaches for his gun.
Yeah.
Like he knows that he has it with him.
Yep. And Rebecca, Charlie just pulled out a gun.
Whoa. Does anyone else seem to have noticed that Charlie's pulled out a gun?
Annabelle did.
That's my question. Annabelle did. Who am I standing next to?
Whoever you'd like.
Okay. You know, I think I would have been standing... I didn't want to be standing next to creepy McHat, old lady over there.
I feel so bad. I feel so bad about how I introduced her.
Creepy, oh bad.
So I think she'd be standing... Because there's not that many people here. I think she would probably be standing next to Charlie or Annabelle. And so I think... maybe she would, like, make eye contact with Annabelle, like, no one else has noticed, and, like, to the door, like, get him out of here.
Annabelle, kind of moves. Margaret Odell is screaming something about breaking the circle, whatever.
Breaking the circle. Yeah. I'll try to assist her, be like, calm down.
Yeah. And Annabelle is pulling you out, Charlie. The vision is fading rapidly as you get closer to fresh air, but before you leave, you hear Agatha.
Yeah, I definitely check on her.
Yeah.
'Cause I think she might be responsible. Yeah. Maybe she is psychic.
Agatha,
but like the mind control kind of psychic.
She stands up. Looks very concerned, and then calls out to you, Charlie. You see her, even though like Rebecca and Annabelle are kind of on the periphery and it's hard to make out everything, but you see Agatha clear as day, and she holds out a hand to you. That which bends can break the mind, but reveal the truth. The white way leads to darkness, illumination, and temptation. And Rebecca and Annabelle pull you out of the room into fresh air.
Yep.
Yeah, he's
I've
like
taken
in a cold
the
sweat.
gun. Because
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he even like fights you on it at all. It's like he has a pretty firm grip, but I think would let go as soon as he kind of came out of that vision and realized where he actually is again, and gets kind of a grip on reality.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
You back with us? Are you okay?
What the hell, Charlie?
Happened?
I think the incense just got to me a little bit.
Right. So you were gonna shoot the incense?
He just kind of shakes his head, like he doesn't really know how to explain. He doesn't just go around telling people that he's psychic, like actually psychic, you know. but he just kind of says, I think it just made me a bit dizzy. I thought I saw somebody.
Was that Miss Broadmoor like freaking you out a little bit? Cause she was just staring at you like the whole time. Like this fraud over there is like screaming and stuff, and she's just, not looking away.
Yeah, that could have been part of it. I don't know.
All right, cause she's freaking me out a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. So, he seems to be in control of his senses again. She'll hand him back the gun. Just you might want to keep this holstered while inside.
Yeah, that's not. It's never happened before.
Annabelle speaks up at this point. Charlie, I want to go.
Yeah, of course. We can leave.
Nice to meet you, Miss Schosenberg. Please give Zebulon my love when you see him.
Of course. It was wonderful meeting you, Miss Montgomery. You too, Mr. Rep.
I think he's still like a little bit out of it, but he gives you like the best smile that he can, and he'll offer his arm to Annabelle.
She doesn't take it.
Great. Yep, then we'll just leave.
Yeah.
I'll go back into the psychic room. And if I can find that assistant on the way, I'll be like, before I like make eye contact with him, I'll say Jackson to see if he turns. If he doesn't, then I'll get his attention and get his real name.
Yeah. What is your aim with him? Are you interviewing him?
Oh, yeah. How long have you been Miss Odell's assistant?
He doesn't seem the chatty type, but like obviously you're persistent, and he has.
Oh, I'm pretty charming
yeah,
too,
That's
like...
I know. So he ends up. I think over the course of this, as Margaret Odell is trying to do damage control, you get the scoop, Miss Schosenberg.
Thank you. Wonderful. And I definitely get a lovely picture of Margaret Odell attempting her damage control for the article.
Perfect. And now...
And I make sure that Miss Broadmoor's in the photo too, if I can get that angle.
Nice, yes, you totally do. Now... Let's see, what do we have here? No. Stop creepy music. We don't need you now. Hi, everybody. Ganymede, Zebulon, Irene, Charlie. Over the New Year holidays, all of you receive a telegram from one Jackson Elias. I'm going to share it with you now. If one of you would like to read that, I would be grateful.
We'll do it. Alright, let's see. Bigger. Alright. Worldwide Telegraph Server. Have information concerning Carlisle expedition. Stop. Need reliable investigative team. Stop. Meet January 15, New York. Stop. Jackson Elias.
This message comes to you wherever you currently are. You're already close to that date. And some of you have a longer journey than others, so there's not really a ton of time to lose. Ganymede, I assume you come on the Daring?
Yes. The Daring has been in the Caribbean.
Ooh.
Been diving on a Spanish galleon.
Awesome.
And so I think the Daring remains on site, and Ganymede flies to New York. Be the only way she could make the date.
Okay. So you probably then fly to Chicago and then take the train to New York because of the airports that existed at the time. Lovely. Zebulon, I think this finds you. Do you think it finds you at home over the break?
Yeah. Zeb is probably in Charleston.
Yeah.
And
Annabelle is there too. Charlie is not.
Yeah.
Charlie got his ass left in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is noticed. News travels very fast in the Montgomery family. Thanks to Pearl, mostly. Zeb, I think Zeb is very interested. Zeb is still looking for his first big sort of scoop to stake his sort of career on.
Yeah, and you have been promoted to junior. You're a junior photojournalist.
Yeah. So I mostly just end up having to do all the darkroom work.
Yeah.
Like I'm not actually really getting to go out and do anything. I'm mostly just like, here's the roll of film, go develop it.
The next step.
Climbing the ladder.
I'm no longer getting coffee though. Occasionally when the intern's out. But and so I think Zeb's probably gotten maybe a little bored lately. I don't think too much has happened. There's only so many haunted rich people crypts out on Edisto Island that you can report on before you start going crazy. And it's been a while. It's been a couple months since Patagonia. Been a little while since he came back from Patagonia, so he's starting to get a little antsy.
Yeah.
So he gets the letter and he immediately starts packing up. He's got sort of like a to-go, like a little bit of a nicer box camera setup for like when you can like stage stuff and take your time to set up. But he's also got a Kodak and Stigmatat, I believe that's the name.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of one of those like pocket things that have sort of the one that folds out and pops out. He has some winter stuff that he has to dig out, like heavier winter stuff that he has to dig out of like storage because like Charleston gets cold, it does not get New York cold.
Yeah. And it is very cold this New York.
It's very cold
this
in New York.
winter, I mean.
And he'll load up sort of his bag and he will head to the train station.
Irene, are you in West Virginia or in New York?
She is back in New York.
What have you been up to? Where do we find you when this reaches you?
I think she's gone back to office work, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to make a living as an artist. Harder still when you're trying to avoid certain markets.
Yeah.
And so she probably back to being a typist. And so she's probably just gotten off of work and probably the receptionist flags her down, tells her a message came through for her.
Jackson has written to you over this last year, mostly postcards from where he's traveling all over the world. But in the last 6 months, they've gotten really few and far between and more like quick scrawls more than anything. And now you have this message. Charlie. So a couple things.
Yeah.
Where do we find you?
Probably staying in a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
He, I think, because he travels a lot for what he does. Obviously he's always going to the next hotspot or the next like big medium. So I think he had only intended on being in New York a couple of days for this instance with Margaret Odell, but I think he ended up extending his stay.
Yeah.
So he's probably still in the same room.
So a couple things about this this telegram. You recognize the name Carlisle.
Yeah.
I think you're the one that recognizes it most easily. The Carlisles are a very big deal.
Yeah.
And you kind of vaguely remember the Carlisle expedition, but you also know Roger Carlisle's sister, Erica, from several years ago.
Yeah.
I kind of want to know just like how everyone's feeling about this kind of out of the blue message from Jackson that seems to be, I mean, it's not really personalized. Again, it seems like very quick. Yeah, I just want to know how our characters are feeling right now.
I think Charlie was fully expecting this.
Yeah.
Having seen Jackson in that
sense.
like state.
Yeah.
I think he was just waiting. I think he was waiting for news about Jackson. I don't know, like, if he had been like institutionalized or, you know, seeing something in the paper, like this writer has kind of like snapped or whatever. So he was waiting for something, some kind of news revolving around Jackson. So I think the telegram does a couple of things. One, it lets him know that Jackson is still coherent enough to reach out.
Yeah.
But he also did say something in the vision about calling for help. So Charlie in his mind is thinking this is that call for help.
Yeah.
Like Jackson obviously needs somebody. So I think like Charlie's probably drinking a lot, but getting this kind of like, you know, he's like, okay, well, this is something to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of where he's at. He's like latching onto it as, you know, the next step.
Yeah.
For right now.
How's Ganymede feeling?
Ganymede's been back on the Daring for some time now, for a couple of years. They've been to Patagonia. Zeb was a part of that expedition and made a major discovery there. They've been in the Caribbean for some time, and I think Ganymede is just a little, I think maybe she's a little bored. She's ready to move on to the next thing. And she left Jackson Elias with a question about her parents and specifically how Larkin could possibly have known some things. And so I think there's some curiosity there as well that's driving her to New York.
Excellent. Zebulon.
Yeah. So it's sort of like I was saying earlier, Zeb's been getting a little antsy back home. He's still like, the Patagonia piece was interesting, but like, how many people care about Patagonia in the Carolinas? So it wasn't like a big scoop as he thought it was gonna be, and he's just getting a little antsy, and he doesn't really get any real jobs here, so he's like, and also there's also sort of it's that reason that we like sometimes watch horror, because we're drawn to these weird things even if we know they're horrifying, and anything that involves Jackson and Elias and possibly investigators might have a chance of being that, and there's that sort of draw to that, even though you know it could be bad.
Totally. Irene, how are you feeling about all of this?
I think that she's interested, she's concerned. It's a very strange message to received suddenly to be like, oh, hey, so, like, meet me in New York and something about the Carlisle. It's been 4 years. So she is curious, but not in a, like, ooh, more adventure way. It's I thought we closed that. And maybe it isn't. So she's concerned.
That makes a lot of sense.
And also very worried about Jackson now.
What? Yes. Okay. So, you all arrive your various ways through various means to New York City. The bright lights of Broadway, the flashing neon signs in Times Square, the potent symbol of a new life that is the Statue of Liberty, the steamy nightclubs of Harlem, the antics of the bootleggers brought about through Prohibition. This is New York, and you all arrive maybe a day or so before you're due to meet Jackson Elias, having made your own hotel arrangements. Curious, what do you do in the meantime? Zebulon, this is now, you're back kind of in the area where you work. Irene, this is where you live. Charlie, this is where you're staying. Ganymede is the one who arrives from, I think, the farthest away. So you have a couple days. I want to know what you do as you're waiting.
I think Zebulon would go and do some research on the Carlisles. I think Zeb has learned how to use the library somewhat efficiently. But I think
you have the New York Times archives at your disposal.
I think Zeb's first instinct would be to go and take a look at the archives first. And see what he can find on the Carlisles there.
Do you ask Rebecca?
Yeah, I'd probably drop in on.
Good, because I want to see this
Rebecca.
relationship. Give it to me.
I think does Rebecca have her own office?
Yeah, it's a small office, but she has an office.
Small office, own office. There's like a knock on the door.
Listen, I told you I don't want any more coffee right now. If you're not here bringing... Alright, you know, who is it? I should probably say that first.
Good, is it morning, afternoon? Let's say it's noon.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Miss Schosenberg. It's Zebulon.
Oh! Terribly sorry, I thought you were the new intern. Come in.
Thank
He's trying to bring me coffee. I don't... what can I help you with? Oh, how is your sister, Annabelle?
Oh,
I met her the other, not too long ago.
Oh, you met God, I'm gonna drop into like your accent if I'm not careful.
Sorry,
It's distinct.
I think
it's very distinct.
Stay in South Carolina, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, she's doing all right now. She's always been, I don't know. She's recently broke up with her boyfriend, but
Mr. Rapp. Oh, that's terrible. Just
absolutely Mr.
terrible.
Mr. Rapp.
We met briefly, at a thing.
Yes, that did end. She's doing fine though. She's always been more focused on her career and all that.
Good to hear that. Makes me glad she's, not too tore up about the whole thing. So what you need? What'd you come in here for? Sure you didn't come in here to talk about your sister.
That does tend to happen a lot. It's, just the 6 of them. So oftentimes
big family. You are from the Carolinas. Yeah. So. Makes sense. Okay.
I'm just back in town to, I got a message from an old friend of mine, and thought I'd mentioned something about the Carlyles. I thought that I
Carlyles.
Bing, bing, bing.
Yeah.
You know all about the Carlyles.
Oh, the Carlyles, you say? Well, what you want to know?
Well, I mean, I'm not entirely sure what exactly my associate is going to talk about, but I just thought I'd do a quick profile on them, see.
If you want to do a profile on the Carlyles, let me tell you something. It's not going to be quick. There's a lot going on with that family, and that's only just the more recent files. So, let me tell you, if you go digging, wow. But yeah, we can go to the archives, pull up some stuff. I've got some files here myself of things I've kind of did a bit of writing on. But yeah.
I mean, that would be wonderful, Ms. Schoenberg. I'd be greatly appreciative of that.
Of course.
Was there anything that I wouldn't want to take up too much of your time, but
oh no,
perhaps,
you working with anybody else on this case, this thing?
No, I just got back into town, and this is sort of like a personal project.
Who's
so
your
I'm not
friend
working with
asking
anyone
about
yet.
this? Just out of curiosity.
Something about a expedition that they I don't know if they were.
Who's looking into the Carlyles again? It's been a hot minute. Curious.
Alright. He closes the door. Now you can't tell anyone.
Of course not.
But have you ever heard of Mr. Jackson Elias? Fairly prolific writer.
I've heard of the
Debunks
guy.
a lot of strange.
Wrote that book about dead people or something recently.
Yep, death cults and all that.
Death cults.
Yep.
That's what it was. Death cults, not death people. I'm sure there's dead people
fairly
involved with the death
prolific
cults. I skimmed it.
Investigator of the sort of strange things in the world and the death cults, debunking all that.
Jackson.
Yeah. But he's said he's got something in regards to the Carlisle expedition.
Jackson Elias. That's interesting. All right, you know what? And she pulls out like a calendar, and she just like one of those desk calendars, and she just scratches a big line. You know, my schedule's just become clear through the week.
Zeb is just like, of course.
Yeah.
Miss Schoenberg, can I get lunch for you or something? But then there's sort of a thanks here.
It's all right. I was given like 8 cups of coffee this morning, so I am fine. Let's go to the archives and help start doing some pull up some articles for you. Get you fully versed in the matter. That way I don't have to repeat myself as often.
Zeb's just gonna get dragged along because that's what happens to Zeb.
Yep.
Like
That's
his entire growing up life was getting dragged around by his sisters for the most part.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Perfect. I want to know before I start, because Rebecca being there, you negates any need for rolls for finding all this information. Yeah. Is anybody else doing any research, or what else are you doing before I start handing you a million handouts to read?
Love handouts.
Yeah.
Love all that.
Me
But
too.
I think Charlie would go check in on Irene. I think he had seen her when they got into town. Like, he makes a habit of checking in with her every time he's in the city.
Yeah.
But I think as soon as he got I think he hasn't seen her since the breakup, but
Yeah.
but he's been taking care of himself, self-care first. Yeah, he would go see Irene as soon as he got the telegram in.
Yeah. So you arrive at Irene's probably studio apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really small.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that he would have let you know that he's coming, but he'd be there and knock on the door. It's probably rare that he actually does let you know that he's coming. He never really knows when he's going to be there, but
Yeah. Yeah, she'll open the door. Oh, Charlie, it's good to see you.
You too. And then I think without even like saying anything else, he just kind of holds up the paper with the message from Jackson Elias. Did you get one of these?
Yeah, I did. I'm gonna assume that if you got one, that everyone involved got one too.
Yeah, I would think so. I haven't heard from the others yet, but wanted to come make sure.
Yeah, come on in, and she'll open the door and let him in.
Yeah.
It's a small, basically, studio apartment. It smelled like paint.
Mm-hmm.
She has like it's what used to be a corner, but then like grew of like art supplies and like finished and unfinished works. She probably gets some complaints about the smell at times, but she doesn't really care.
Yeah.
It's like, I was just about to make some coffee, actually. Like one?
That would be lovely. And I think we've seen Charlie cute disheveled. Like, I just rolled out of bed and I'm so cute. But this is like Charlie, like actually disheveled.
Right.
Like not taking care of yourself, but definitely not trying. You know, like, but yeah, he kind of nods and comes in. I mean, he's familiar with your apartment, and he'll take off his jacket and sit down. So I would imagine that the other two will be on their way soon.
I'd imagine so. Though knowing Miss Graves, she's probably going to be the last one.
I'm sure she's halfway around the world.
Yeah, and she'll kind of pour some coffee into two mismatched mugs. Like, she does not have a matching, like, anything in this apartment. And she sets it out, one for him and one for herself.
Yeah, I think he has like sat down and he's got his deck of tarot cards in his hands. I think he's just kind of shuffling through them absently, like he does when he's kind of nervous, or it doesn't seem like he's about to do a reading or anything. He's kind of just doing it out of habit. And he kind of takes the coffee with a thanks and drinks for a second. But it's clear that he like wants to talk about something like that he doesn't really know how to get into.
Yeah. Probably sensing that, she'll just kind of be like, so, how's work? How's Annabelle? It's been a while.
Yeah. She called things off.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. I, was surprised that she stayed with me as long as she did.
Oh, don't say that.
Well, I mean, this is generally how it goes, with me traveling so much and not exactly the type to commit, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I hope that you feel okay about it at least.
Oh yeah, I'll be fine. Just the adjustment period, I guess, but it's already been a week and feeling all right. But I wanted to talk to you about something. And I know that I came to see you just before we went to that seance. I think I mentioned Alice Newell to you.
Yeah.
Has it been in the papers at this point? Like, has the report on it been in the papers?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if you saw it in the papers.
Yeah. I think actually my boss mentioned something about it at work.
Yeah. Well, we went and it was pretty typical as far as Margaret Odell goes. It was the same old tricks. Obviously, she had money and was planning on continuing to swindle the elderly out of their hard-earned savings. But while we were in the actual seance, there was a woman there, Agatha. I didn't catch her last name, did I? She just said Agatha?
Oh, Agatha Broadmoor.
Broadmoor. Mm-hmm.
In the article.
Oh yeah, in the article too. Yeah, there was another woman there, Agatha Broadmoor, who seemed a bit out of it, to be honest. But she, I don't know if she did something or if it was just the incense. But I saw something. A few things, actually, during the seance.
Like visions.
Yeah, it seemed very real, but visions, yeah.
And it's not like your usual thing?
No, this was something else. I haven't had visions like that since Peru.
And I think she stands up and she goes to that wall of just earth stuff and she starts going through a pile of sketchbooks until she pulls out one that looks very familiar, the one that she used in Peru. She'll bring it back over and set it on the table again. And she'll flip over into a new page, because I think as soon as like Peru was done, she just kind of put that notebook away. She didn't want to just continue using it, but she flips open to a fresh page. So what did you see?
Yeah, and I think he just goes in and recounts basically what he saw. The couple in the desert and asking if they could help find their daughter, and the name he didn't catch, the Egyptian woman that he saw kind of pacing, and then obviously Jackson, and would like tell her basically everything he remembers Jackson saying, including the Carlisle bit and the call for help and all of that.
Yep.
Yeah. So she does like a combination of like writing down notes and also very loose sketches based on what Charlie's describing.
Mm-hmm.
And with Irene's skill, they are surprisingly detailed, even though they are rough. Like they look like what you saw.
Yeah, I'm sure the two of them working together could get it pretty accurate to what he saw.
And I would like to leave Charlie and Irene there, huddled together, and see, Ganymede, what do you do in these few days? What does Ganymede Graves, adventure scientist, get up to?
I don't know that she arrives very early. I think that she kind of leaves at the last minute, and I think she ends up on a train through the night into New York. So she's arriving probably day of our meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I think she has a leisurely breakfast in a coffee shop near the train station. She eats a lot. And probably about 3 cups of coffee before just sort of slinging her duffel bag over her shoulder and making her way toward their meeting place. And if it's, even if it's 10 or 12 blocks, I think she walks. I think she's, I think she just walks.
Yeah. Before you leave the cafe, and before Charlie and Irene leave Irene's apartment, and before Zebulon leaves the New York Times office, all of you get a hand-delivered message. And the message basically states, it just says 8 p.m. Hotel Chelsea, usual room is occupied, they're moving my stuff, ask when y'all get here, Jackson. You think it's probably very expensive for him, or at least very time consuming for this messenger to find, especially you, Ganymede, who basically got off the train, but it's almost uncanny. Like, maybe Jackson knew where you'd be.
And Rebecca would definitely tell Zebulon before he leaves the Times. You know, it's funny that you were talking with this Jackson guy, because he had, you know, that death cult book. Because there's this guy I know, Dr. Lemming. Yeah, there's this bunch of murders that's been going around, and he's linked them to an African death cult here in town. Now, the police, they think they've got the guy. Pretty sure he's framed. Kind of working on it in my spare time. Don't mention it to my boss. Case is technically closed, but if, you know, we can prove him innocent, blow it wide open again, you know, we can just, you know, I just don't like, you know, the framing of people. It's not very nice. It's not great. But it's funny that you mentioned this death cult thing, because, like, there's a little bit of that going around in town right now.
It's just kind of like, well, I mean...
And you've got, like, a stack of stuff on the card.
Yeah, Zeb's just like, thank you very kindly for the tip.
Yeah.
Chosen
So if he needs to know someone who knows stuff on death cults in town, Dr. Lemming. That's who you call. If you need an appointment, just contact me. I'll get through to him. He's a little weird, slightly reclusive at times, I think. He's just a bit of an oddball. So, you know, just let me know if you need to talk to him. I'll hook you up.
All right. Well, thank you, Miss Schoenberg. This has been a great help.
Of course.
I'm just gonna finish up on my reading here, and then I'll let you know if we need anything.
Sure thing. We? Oh, you and Jackson, right? Yeah. Sorry.
Excellent. So, your stack of papers, here it comes.
Oh my god.
Everyone is going to have access to this. Basically, Charlie knows this because of his association with the Carlyles. Ganymede's going to know this because it involves someone in London, a very famous person, and Zebulon knows this because of Rebecca. So if you want to go ahead and read some of these as I give them to you, starting with this one, Big Apple Dateline.
Big Apple Dateline. Roger Carlyle, the playboy whom everybody knows or knows about, is quietly leaving New York.
Yep, New York.
I just said, I
New
had
York.
to double check. New York tomorrow to check out the tombs of Egypt. You've seen the cuties Roger has found in the night spots. Who can doubt he'll dig up someone or something equally fabulous from the Egyptian sand?
Yeah, that was a good night.
Then this one.
You want me to read all of these?
Huh? Yeah, why not?
Okay.
It's nice of you to volunteer, Tommy.
Yeah.
Carlisle expedition embarks for London. Led by the fabulously wealthy playboy Roger Carlyle, the Carlisle expedition departed this morning for Southampton aboard the British steamship Imperial Standard. Contrary to earlier reports, the expedition will perform researches in London under the auspices of the Penhew Foundation before continuing to Egypt next month. Readers may recall the enormous party, which Mr. Carlyle, now 24, gave at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel upon reaching his majority. Since then, scandals and indelicate behavior have become Carlyle's trademark, but he has never become tarnished in the eyes of the Manhattan. Members of the expedition have been reluctant to reveal their purpose in Egypt. Other expedition members. Renowned Egyptologist Sir Aubrey Penhew is assistant leader of the team and in charge of the excavation. Dr. Robert Huston, a fashionable Freudian psychologist, accompanies the expedition to pursue parallel researches into ancient pictographs. Miss Hypatia Masters, linked in the past to Carlisle, will act as photographer and archivist. Mr. Jack Brady, intimate to Mr. Carlisle, accompanies the group as general factotum. Additional members may be secured while in London.
And let's see. Ganymede, why don't you read this one that I'm sending now? Give everybody a turn. Handouts.
Noped out.
Oh, she was like, bye.
Okay. No.
I understand.
I'm not reading anything.
No, I don't know why the stop video button is so close to the unmute button.
Who
I'm
knows?
so sorry.
It's a design flaw. But this one is titled
Got it.
Carlisle Departs Egypt.
Iro, Sir Aubrey Penhew, temporary spokesman for the Carlisle expedition, indicated Thursday that the leaders are taking ship to East Africa for a, quote, well-earned rest. Sir Aubrey debunked rumors that the expedition had discovered clues to the legendary wealth of the lost mines of King Solomon, maintaining that the party was going on safari, quote, in respite from our sandy labors. Roger Carlisle, wealthy New York leader of the expedition, was unavailable for comment, still suffering from his recent sunstroke. Discussing that unfortunate incident, local experts declared Egypt entirely too hot for Anglo-Saxons at this time of year and suggested that the young American had not been well served by his democratic enthusiasm, rumored to have led him to personally wield pick and shovel.
Irene, how about you take this one?
All right. Important visitors. Mombasa rooters, leading members of an American archaeological expedition arrived here on holiday from digs in Egypt's Nile Valley. Our undersecretary, Mr. Royston Whittenden, held a welcoming dinner for them at Collingwood's house with the wit of Sir Aubrey Penhew, expedition co-leader, with much in evidence. Accompanying Sir Aubrey are the youthful financier Roger Carlisle and medical doctor Robert Huston, as well as socialite Miss Hypatia Masters. The party leaves inland today for Nairobi and hunting.
Rebecca.
That's me.
Carlisle expedition feared lost.
Carlisle expedition feared lost. Mombasa. Upland's police representatives today asked for public assistance concerning the possible disappearance of the Carlisle expedition. No word of the party has been received in nearly 2 months. The group includes wealthy playboy Roger Carlisle and 4 other American citizens, as well as Egyptologist Sir Aubrey Penhew of the United Kingdom. The expedition left Nairobi on August 3rd, ostensibly on safari, but rumor insisted that they were actually after the legendary biblical treasures. Carlisle and his party reportedly intended to explore portions of the Great Rift Valley into the northwest of Nairobi.
Charlie.
Oh, good one. Erica Carlisle arrives in Africa. Mombasa rooters. In response to clues, Miss Erica Carlisle, sister to the American leader of the lost Carlisle expedition, arrived in port today aboard the Egyptian vessel Fount of Life. Several Kikuyu villager reports recently have been received concerning the putative massacre of unnamed whites near the Abdare forest. Miss Carlisle declared her intention to find her brother, regardless of the effort needed. She brought with her the nucleus of large expedition, detailing agents to coordinate supply and other activities with the colony representatives. Miss Carlisle and the remainder of her party depart for Nairobi tomorrow. Her companion, Miss Victoria Post, indirectly emphasized Miss Carlisle's purposefulness by recounting the rigors of the voyage.
I'll take these last two. Carlisle massacre confirmed. Nairobi rooters. The massacre of the long-missing Carlisle expedition was confirmed today by district police representatives. Roger Carlisle, New York's rollicking playboy, is counted among the dead. Authorities blame hostile Nandi tribesmen for the shocking murders. Remains of at least 24 expedition members and bearers are thought found in a remote region of the Aberdare Forest. Erica Carlisle, Roger Carlisle's sister and apparent heiress to the Carlisle family fortune, led the dangerous search for her brother and his party. She credited Kikuyu tribesmen for the discovery, though police actually found the site. Among other expedition members believed lost are Sir Aubrey Penhew, noted Egyptologist, New York socialite Hypatia Masters, and Dr. Robert, I'm going to call him Houston. Many bearers also are reported dead. And finally, murderers hanged. Nairobi rooters. 5 Nandi tribesmen, convicted ringleaders of the vicious Carlisle expedition massacre, were executed this morning after a short, expertly conducted trial. To the end, the tribesmen steadfastly refused to reveal why they had slaughtered Mr. Carlisle and his companions. Mr. Harris, acting for the colony, cleverly implied throughout the trial that the massacre was racial in motivation and that the fair-skinned victims were subject to the most savage treatment, preventing all but the most preliminary identification of the remains. Miss Erica Carlisle, defeated in her efforts to rescue her brother, left several weeks ago, but is surely comforted now by the triumph of justice. That's in heavy air quotes. I don't know if you heard that. So this is what the public at large, it's what all of you know about the Carlisle expedition that Jackson mentioned. Charlie, in addition to that, you remember what you heard Jackson saying, and I'll repeat it now. Many names, many forms, but all the same and toward one end. Need help. Too big, too ghastly. These dreams like Carlisle's? Check that psychoanalyst's files. All of them survived. They'll open it. The gate. Why? Many threads beginning. The books are in Carlisle's safe. Coming for me. Will the ocean protect? No quitters now. Must tell and make readers believe. Should I scream for them? Let's scream together. It is nearing 8 p.m. on January 15th of 1925. The group of you, Zebulon, Irene, Ganymede, and Charlie, meet outside of the Hotel Chelsea. It's on West 23rd Street between 7th and 8th Avenues. It's a 12-story red brick edifice. And you can see inside there's a magnificent staircase. It was originally built as an apartment building, but reopened as a hotel in 1905. And I'll say all of you arrive outside or in the lobby at the same time. You are together again.
It's a good evening, Miss Blackwell. It's been a while since I've seen you. You look like you're doing well.
Good to see you too. Have you grown since last time?
Just a little bit, just a few more inches. Miss Graves, I hope you've been doing well since our expedition.
Zeb, it's lovely to see you again. I was hoping you'd be here.
Charles.
Hey there, Zeb.
Ganymede.
Zeb punches Charlie.
Had to happen.
Yes, my
Had to happen.
dreams, my
I
dreams.
think Ganymede and
dreams,
Irene
my
were about to say something just then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Charlie does not defend against it. Hurt me.
Yeah, 'tis a goodly punch.
Yeah. I think he just kind of like reels back from it and just nods a little bit.
I want you to know that was for me. Annabelle is perfectly capable of punching you on her own. Not that she cares.
She was the one that ended the relationship, Zeb.
I am well aware of that. But if you think that it was easy for her to end that your relationship, let's go inside. Zeb walks inside.
Ganymede steps up and puts her arm through Zeb's and just sort of pats him on the shoulder a bit.
I know what side Ganymede's on.
Irene looks to Charlie and goes, "Was it that bad?"
Well, I don't know if I mean, it wasn't good. We were together for a long time.
She probably will like look at him to make clearly concerned.
Yeah, he's okay. I think he's
It will
like rubbing
bruise
his
a little
jaw.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no, his handsome face.
Only made more handsome by a bruise. So thanks, Seb. Yeah, no, he's okay. He's like rubbing his jaw. He kind of shrugs her off like, no, I'll be fine.
Well, hopefully this won't change the tone of this reunion.
Well, Zeb bounces back fast. I think he'll forgive me.
Irene just looks at Charlie with a bit of a, okay.
It's more of a hopeful, like, I think he'll forgive me, saying it to put it into the universe so that it comes true.
Yeah, I think
the reality you want to see in the world, you know?
Yeah. I think that she raises a bell and just like pats him on the arm, and then starts heading in.
Yeah, Charlie will trail up last, give it a second, and then come in.
Yeah. So there is a clerk behind the magnificent hotel lobby desk.
I guess
You're an adult
Zeb's
now,
already
Zeb.
walking. I guess Zeb's
Go
walking
talk to
in.
the clerk.
Yeah.
What do they look like? What does the clerk look like?
Very smart, slicked back hair, little pencil mustache.
Good evening, sir.
Hello, welcome to the Hotel Chelsea. How may I help you?
Zeb sort of like takes off his hat. We are here as guests of Mr. Jackson Elias. He has sent out a message to meet him here. I wonder if you could show us to. Did he say go to his room or just?
He said to ask when you got here.
Just right. If you could let Mr. Elias know that his associates are here.
Oh, yes. He said to expect you, and you could go right up. His usual room is on the 12th floor. Oh. Excuse me, sir. Sorry, I have a note here. Yes, his room was occupied. Mr. Jackson Elias is currently staying in room 410.
Zeb pauses for a moment.
410, you said?
Yes. You can go right up.
Very well.
Of course. Thank you very
Thank
much. Mr. Does he have a name tag?
It says Barney.
Barney. Mr. Barney. Zebulon will also like hand him a business card. Says junior reporter.
Yeah.
If you ever have anything that you need, feel free to leave a message for me. I don't have a phone. I don't have my own phone yet.
He just smiles and takes it. And you all are free to move about as you will.
Yeah. Charlie's like looking at Irene like, I don't like this. I don't like this
Yeah,
at all.
I think,
Zeb
yeah, probably step away from the clerk, maybe somewhat towards the elevators.
Mm-hmm.
Irene will just very quietly go, I know it's been a while since we've all been together. And since Haru. So this question may come a little odd. Have any of you have a strange feeling about 410?
I think you would know Charlie does.
Yeah.
I mean, I always, Miss Graves?
Have you seen it as well?
In nightmares.
Awkward elevator silence.
Yeah.
And then Zeb is just like, now, did any of you think to bring a gun?
Does Zeb
Can't
have
believe
his
that
gun?
You don't have one.
Does Zeb have a gun?
definitely- Zeb still has that, like, one
Yes.
shot thing.
Yes.
He has never fired it.
I love how he just, in the 4 years, has never bought a new one.
Mhm.
Yeah, Charlie
This
nods.
is my gun. Ganymede shakes her head.
Zeb has found that, you know, when he needs to get out of things, a fist and a knife is the most he's needed to get out of things so far.
Yep, Charlie has his gun. I think he'll pull back his jacket just to show.
Irene does not.
Y'all and your lack of guns, what's going on?
Irene was
Can't
like, this is just a visit with Jackson. Like,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but Charlie told you about the vision he had, as if he was gonna come without a gun. Get real.
Oh.
Yeah.
But Zebulon's asking if everyone has a gun because he did not bring the gun to this meeting.
Yes.
It's in his bag with his photography stuff back at the office. So
Well,
he
then
doesn't have his gun on him.
I guess I'll be the one to open the door.
I mean, this. And then Zeb realizes is the. Yeah, I think that that perhaps might be smart. Charles.
I know that's
Charlie
the
hates
name
that
that
so
we
bad.
have on the overlay, but it still sounds so mean.
It sounds mean. Don't call me by my name. Dare you?
Okay.
Yeah, no.
The elevator comes to a stop. And you get out, and the hallway has several doors. All of them are red.
Charlie will lead the way to 410.
Mm-hmm.
I'm now very slightly uncomfortable with all this.
Just now?
I mean, I was kind of uncomfortable when we heard the 410, and then now we're in this hallway, and it's just taking it up a notch.
Everybody make a listen roll.
I'd love to do that.
I'm using advantage.
I think I will too.
Yeah.
You know, why not? You know? Katie gave me 2, right?
Yeah.
Earlier? Okay.
There we go. Thank God I used it.
Okay.
That first one was a 95.
So, Zebulon.
Wait. Mine are coming through.
Okay.
They're coming someday. There's one.
Perfect. Beautiful.
I don't know if the other one. Just take the second one whenever it comes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, Zebulon and Charlie likely leading the way. You hear, Charlie, you hear rustling. Like, people are moving about in this room, opening drawers and such. And Zebulon, you hear well, no, both of you will hear this actually. A very long breath and exhale goes on for too long, and then silence. What do you do?
Is that just like in the hall?
No, you hear it from behind door 410.
I think Charlie has his hand on the door, like on the knob. You know how you can kind of start to turn and you can tell if it's locked without actually fully turning the knob?
Yeah.
He's checking to see if it's locked.
It's not locked.
Okay. I think he's just gonna kind of look at Zeb and just nod a little bit. Like, here we go. And he's gonna open the door. He's not gonna knock. Gun ready, hello. Also, I would like to remind you that I am never surprised in combat.
The sight in this room is one of carnage. Things are thrown everywhere. Two men are before you, kind of going through the drawers and such, and they freeze when they see you. They hold they look like machetes. They're called pangas, and they wear kind of wrap around their head that has one long red piece of fabric hanging down. They are surprised to see you and they freeze, but maybe you all don't really notice this because on the bed, with his guts hanging out and a carving in his forehead, lies a dead Jackson Elias. And that's where we're going to end today's session.
Not Mr. Jackson! How could you do this to us?
I don't know. I don't feel good about it.
You shouldn't.
I
shouldn't
don't
feel good about it.
I don't feel good about it. Well, shit. Yeah, we should go talk to some. We should talk to some people. We should say hi. Outros. Lindy, you start.
Sure. Yeah, that was super fun. I hope that Rebecca gets to get with the rest of the group again at some point and flirt with Charlie now that he's single. At least obviously flirt this time. She kind of was like low key at the seance, but you know, he was taken. It wasn't polite. So, but now, fair game. It's interesting watching that. I've played through bits and pieces of Masks of Nyarlathotep twice. There's a lot I haven't played of it, but I've played through New York and London twice, and so it's really neat to see all of y'all's reaction to the scenes and stuff. And apparently y'all were attached to Mr. Jackson Elias. That's very different than my experiences with Jackson Elias. We didn't hate him, we didn't dislike him, but we didn't like him. He was just like, oh man, he knew stuff and he's dead. So this is really fun. I can't wait to see what y'all do next week. I knew this was coming. Oh, love it. You can find me online at LaughLoveLindy, being pretty maniacal on all sorts of tabletop RPG games. I play on my channel twice a week for Mondays in Exandria, Mists of Ravenloft, D&D 5e, and if you like aliens, it got postponed from last night, and it's going to be tonight at 9 Eastern. We'll be having our once-a-month Aliens campaign. So if you like spooky stuff like Call of Cthulhu, check it out because I'm pretty sure we're going to be screaming and crying tonight. It's fine. I'm fine. We're all fine.
Perfect. That is perfect. That is how it should be. Tommy. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy, pal.
You just had to kill him. You just had to kill him, huh?
I feel bad about it.
If it makes you
Good.
feel better, she killed him really nicely compared to how I've seen him killed before.
Yes, we did. We all love Mr. Jackson Elias. He was great. He was wonderful. And now he's dead.
Calm down. One of us can talk to ghosts. It's fine.
I feel like that's what Charles, like Zeb's gonna be distraught over here. Charles is like, don't worry, I can still talk to his ghost. And then Zeb's gonna punch you again. But that was a great session. Oh my God, Lindy, it was so great to be able to play with you again. You make a great Rebecca Schosenberg, and I guess I don't know, like we got kind of a side mentor for Zebulon, I guess, in a sense. Pretty much just, it's a lot more of the same for Zeb when it comes to Rebecca. It's just like, yep, this is my life. But that was so much fun, Lauren. I'm so glad to finally be older Zeb, and that was, I'm excited. But yes, I am at Imperator Pingu on the Twitter sphere. I do tabletop RPG stuff as well as video editing stuff, like the intro for this show. Other than here on Saturday mornings, you can find me on Fridays over on Encounter Roleplay at 6 p.m. Eastern, playing The Haunting of Seawall Orphanage, where some shit is happening as well. It's all horror for me. Like, this is just my horror weekend, every weekend. But other than that, just follow me on Twitter to find out where and when I'll be.
Awesome. Summer. Hey.
Hi. What a great episode to come back on. Oh my God. Yeah, that was so good. That was so good. I loved literally every bit of it. Lindy, you're incredible. I'm really glad that I got punched. Deserve it, actually. And I have been anticipating you mentioned 410 to us how many weeks ago? And so I think we all had the same reaction as our characters when you said, oh, he's on the top floor. And then we were like, yay. And then you're like, actually, he's in room 410. And we were all like, good, great. And we loved hearing that. Yeah, so good. Lauren, I think that's something about Lauren, that we all love Jackson Elias, right? You just played him incredibly. And we are sad to see him go, but you can talk to me as Jackson Elias anytime you want for free. You don't even have to make me roll. You can just do it.
You're so right.
Yeah, just do it. It's no problem. You can make the rules. Yeah, I am Summer. You can find me on Twitter at justasummerjob. The only thing that I want to plug today is at noon. So in little under an hour, we're going to be over on off_the_table doing Otterthon all day. So that's like the next 12 hours, me and Katie and Dingo. It's just the three of us today. We're playing 3-player games all day. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're starting out with Quietus, which is a GM and 2-player game where it's essentially like couple goes to a house and the murderer comes. Horror story game. So I'm really excited. Just wait to see what me and Dingo get up to. I guess we're married now. That's all I have to say about that. Okay.
Perfect. Excellent. Happy
Great
for
time.
you.
Great people.
Mm-hmm. Ali. Hi.
Wow, what a setup to whatever is coming. I'm incredibly intrigued. I loved everything about this today. I am Allison. You can find me on Twitter at Allison Robinson with 2 L's and a Y. I am even more excited that in like a day and a half is the premiere of Strange Invasion, Assault on the Barrier Peaks, a Dungeons & Dragons 5e campaign here on Salty Sweet Games. It is D&D meets weird sci-fi with a great group of players. And I'm really, really excited to finally get to be back in the big chair at the head of the table. That is 9 p.m. on Mondays.
You
and
cannot have my chair. So
I'll be at the big chair at the head of the table, which is actually just this chair where I'm sitting right now in the hallway. And yeah, it's 9 p.m. Eastern, starting on Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific. Hope that you will join us for that. And we'll see you then.
it's being you, Kienna. It's our turn.
Our turn. Let's do personal stuff first. Y'all can find me over on Twitter at Kienna S. Best way to figure out what I'm doing when I'm not here on the channel. I'm mostly just here on this channel. Basically, that's it. I've got a couple shows on WebDM Presents and a few monthly things, but really just here. Just hang out here. What about you, Lauren?
Lauren, that salty ginger, over on Twitter. You can find me here on the weekends and on other places like Off the Table and the Scraticus Academy and other places very soon. Nailed it.
Oh yeah. And let's wrap up with some channel stuff. Want to give another shout out to our wonderful sponsor, Roll20. They help unite gamers across whatever distance, whatever time zones. I think our show itself is 3 time zones or something like that. So they help bring people together to play games just using a web browser. Super awesome. We're part of the Spotlight program, so make sure to go check out the other Roll20 Spotlight people. They do some really awesome stuff all around the tabletop space. As well, big thank you to everyone who has supported us. It really helps us keep the lights on over here at Salty Sweet Games, whether that's through donations or subscriptions, or going to our merch store at Redbubble, where you can get some cute stuff in return for directly supporting the channel and helping us keep making content for y'all. We have a YouTube channel, so if you ever miss an episode or want to rewatch one, you can go over to YouTube. We're trying to hit the number of subscribers so we can get a custom URL, so it's not a weird string of characters, so please go subscribe there. Usually Tuesday and Thursdays for our regular campaigns, and then whatever other day I feel like for our one-shots of video games, all that stuff. And of course, please go check out our Twitter. Follow us over there. The best way to keep up with what we're doing as we announce when we go live, as well as new shows and all sorts of other cool stuff there. We'll be back live tomorrow with The Witcher, and then we're back on Monday with the premiere of Strange Invasion. It'll be super exciting, which we're hyped for that. So again, make sure to follow us here and on Twitter. And yeah, we're going to go. We'll go do something. We'll raid probably.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. If you're with us, please stay in chat and spam the hype emote if you have it wherever we go. Otherwise, just spam some hearts from us from Salty Sweet Games. I think that's it.
All right. Bye, everyone.